Welcome back. I'm Joel with the Wandering Hearts, and today we're going to take you through the entire experience of doing a border run from Da Nang to Laos, step by step. Now, if you're nervous about this process, or maybe you're just curious to see what it's like, stick around because this video is going to answer all those questions for you. We just wrapped up 5 awesome months in Da Nang, Vietnam, and we loved it so much that we actually wanted to extend our stay. Now, if you're not familiar, a Vietnamese tourist visa gives you 90 days to explore the country. Now, if you're slow traveling like us, or maybe if you're an expat living in Vietnam and you want to stay a little bit longer, it basically means that as a tourist, you're going to have to do a border run. Now, we made a video already showing you the top hassle-free ways to do a border run from Da Nang, Vietnam. You can actually check that out on the channel if you'd like. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to be talking about just the bus option, which is the one that we actually did ourselves, mostly because it's the most cost-effective, and we just didn't want to have to deal with all the logistics of having to go to the airport and booking flights and all that, which is probably the most popular way to do it. We just like the fact that we could just do this through the visa agent and not have to worry about anything, just sit back and relax. To do our visa run, we chose to use a highly regarded visa agent in Da Nang. Basically, using a visa agent adds an additional cost, but for us, we felt it was well worth it versus the stress of trying to plan everything ourselves. We actually used Lin Visa Services. They're actually located in Da Nang. And they've actually been around for about 10 years, and they did a really, really great job for us. Now, first off, this video is not sponsored by the Visa service or anybody else. So we don't make any money on this if you actually end up using them. So if this video is helpful, please consider picking up our Da Nang Quick Start Guide. You can join our channel membership, or you can even buy us a glass of wine to say thanks. Of course, subscribing and giving the video a thumbs up is really huge and helps us a lot. So let's start off with some Visa Run package pricing. As of filming the video, if you were looking for like a single entry, that's going to cost you 4,070,000 dong, which is about $155. That includes your bus fare, your Vietnam e-visa, your Lao visa, and of course also the service fee for them to do everything for you. Now, if you want to do a multiple entry, just add 700,000 dong to that, which is about $26. You're also going to be paying a small deposit up front, and that part is actually not refundable, but that's going to cover all of their costs to get the process started, and then you can of course pay the rest of it out later on if you want. Or you can just do what we did, which is pay everything up front, which is pretty straightforward. All the fees cover everything that you need, from transportation to all the visa paperwork. A really cool thing is you can actually pay by cash by going to the office, or you can actually pay online by card, PayPal, bank transfer, or even doing like a Wise or Revolut transfer too. We basically paid by credit card online, and that was actually really convenient. Just know that there may be an additional processing fee if you're going to pay with a credit card or even like a PayPal or Wise transfer. I think for us, it was 4%, and we paid with a credit card. And honestly, 4% is in line with what we've seen everywhere else in Vietnam whenever you're trying to pay with a credit card. Overall, booking was really easy, and they're really responsive as well. After reaching out to them by phone, WhatsApp, or Facebook page, they'll just ask you to send some documents over. And you can so for us, that was through WhatsApp. And we sent a photo of the actual passport itself. So that's going to be the page of your passport that has your passport number, the expiration date, your name, and all that stuff. Additionally, you're going to need to send over a recent passport style photo. It's going to be one of the chest up, facing forward, clear background, no glasses, no hats, anything like that. You can do it as a selfie if you like, or if you have some extra passport photo, like a digital copy of that, you can send that over too. And then they're going to ask you what kind of visa you want. Is it going to be a single entry or multiple entry? They're going to want to know what your address in Vietnam is. And if you don't know what this is, you can usually just find out from your landlord or your hotel. And then a picture of your current Vietnam visa stamp. So it's going to be the stamp that you got when you came into the country. It's going to show you your expiration date and everything as well. After you submit all of that, they're going to ask you how you want to pay. And if it's going to be online, then they'll send you a link where you can take care of that. Additionally, they're going to ask you, of course, what date you want to do your run. They do have a calendar. It does change a little bit every month, but they'll send that over as well. Now, after you book, you can expect a confirmation email, which includes kind of all the general visa information, tells you like how the whole run's going to be handled. And then 1 week before the trip, they also send out another email that gives you like all that same information plus even more details about what to expect, including options for dropping off your passport, so they can go ahead and prepare like your Lao visa, or they can, if you want, you can even schedule for them to pick it up for you as well. Now, we chose just to drop our passports off at their main office in Da Nang since it was really close by, and they'll give you a final reminder the day before your trip, and of course any updates if anything changes. Now, they have 2 pickup points in Hoi An and also 1 in Da Nang, which is at their main office. We went to the main office, and I recommend no matter what you do, go early because the buses can fill up pretty quickly. When we arrived, it was actually pretty easy. You just walked in there. They were easy to talk to. They kind of walked you through everything that you're going to do, check to make sure all your documents are in order. And then they even they had like some snacks and things too, if you wanted to grab something before the bus run. Just note too, though, that they will be holding on to your passport and all your documents during the duration of the trip, or at least until you get processed through the border. Now, the buses are really cool too, because they're basically like luxury limousine buses. The seats were really comfy, they reclined, even had USB ports between the seats as well, and also really good air conditioning, which was very much appreciated. Additionally, they don't allow smoking or vaping or anything like that on the bus, which was also really nice too. Now, our bus actually left a few minutes early, so again, another reason why you want to kind of get there sooner than later. There were stops like every 90 minutes, which is really cool. Basically giving you a chance to do bathroom breaks or even stopping at like little mini markets and places like that where you can get some snacks. Additionally, the bathrooms were really clean and modern, which kind of surprised me. I wasn't sure what to expect kind of like, like further out into the country. Honestly, if you never go more than like 90 minutes without a stop, if you're worried about long bus rides, you don't have to be. We even stopped around noonish for lunch at this little restaurant. It wasn't anything fancy. It was very like kind of local food, but it was actually pretty good, and it was also really affordable. It's cash only, and I think it was about somewhere between 30 and 40,000 dong for our meal for each of us, and which is super, super affordable. It's like less than $2. Also, again, you want to bring cash for this and any snacks that you want to have along the way. Now, once we arrived at the border, the Lin Visa team, actually, they walked us to the border and they just basically took care of like all of our exit stamps and everything. Meanwhile, you're going to be waiting around for a little bit while they do all of that. There's actually a little store that's like right next to the border office. So if you want to get like snacks or any drinks or anything like that, you can hang out there and do that. And if you're wanting like a snack, like a bite to eat or something, there is a couple little restaurants that are kind of where the bus parks, which is just a couple minutes walk around the corner from where the border is. Now, after they processed everything, they gave our passports back to us, where we already had our Lao stamp in it too, and then we proceeded to go across the border. When you do that, though, you're going to have your documents, and there'll be a couple like guards that will check as you go through, just to make sure on the Vietnam side and also on the Lao side. And then you'll make your way to the Lao border office. I think all in all, it took us maybe 30 minutes to get processed through on the Lao side. And then we were able to make our way back. Generally speaking, when you get back, there's then the processing of back into Vietnam, which usually takes about an hour or so. But for our trip, we kind of hit a big snag. There was like a big computer glitch. So it ended up adding another like hour and a half to the whole process, which kind of sucked because, again, there's not a whole lot to do on the border. Honestly, on either side of the border, there's not a whole lot to do. So it's kind of boring. But again, this is why you probably want to make sure you have something to entertain yourself. Make sure your phone's loaded up with the latest music or podcast or whatever. But once we got everything sorted out and they processed our passports, they gave us our passports back, and then we all just kind of made our way back to the bus. Again, expect that to take another hour or so to get everybody's passports and get everybody like corralled back onto the bus. But once we were on there, the journey back was basically the same route that we took. We did have one more snag though, because when we were going through the mountains, they were trying to bring this huge wind turbine blade, and trying to maneuver this through the windy and narrow roads was kind of interesting. So it put us back another like 30 minutes or so. But we did finally arrive back in Da Nang. I think it was about 11 p.m. So quite a bit longer than it was supposed to be. But one good thing though is that when you come back into Da Nang, they do have a couple different stops on the way back to the main office. So you can get off one of the other stops. That's what we chose to do because there was one that was much closer to where our apartment was. So we just did that, and then, you know, a couple bucks later and a few minutes later, we were back at our apartment by taking, you know, just hailing a Grab. All in all, it took about 15 hours for us. I would probably guess it's going to be on average somewhere between 12 and 15, just depending again on if there's any of these kind of delays and things. Overall, just be prepared for a very long day. They sent us over a digital copy of our e-visas, which of course was good for another 90 days. But one thing to note too is you want to hold on to that. Make sure you keep it stored on your phone or some kind of like online area or something like that, because when you're changing accommodations or even when you finally leave Vietnam, they're going to ask for that as well. All right, now that we've gone through all the steps, here are my top takeaways for doing a border run by bus from Da Nang or Hoi An. Now, booking was super easy. The travel and the border service, everything was like super well organized and honestly way more comfortable than I was expecting. Arrive early to get the best seat. The buses do fill up pretty quickly. Additionally, bring any snacks that you have, any preferred snacks that you've got, and entertainment for the ride. You're definitely going to want that. Headphones, your tablets, or whatever you need. And don't forget to bring like a USB cable or nothing or anything like that so you can keep it charged. Again, it's a really long bus ride. Overall, you can expect a pretty comfortable ride, air conditioning, USB ports, definitely worth the cost of the service alone. You'll make frequent stops for bathrooms and snacks. And again, I found the restrooms to be really clean, which is a huge plus. Also, be sure to have some cash on hand for any of those snacks and purchases you make, as well as lunch. And as far as the visa stamping process, both on the Vietnam and Laos side, they can take some time, so just expect that to be at least an hour or more. Be prepared for some delays. Again, we had a computer hiccup, and I'm pretty sure that is not the only time that happens. All things considered, this bus visa run is reliable, it's cost effective, and for us, it was a little less hassle than flying. Again, the staff walk you through everything, so you really don't have to worry about a whole lot. As long as you just give them the document information you need, show up on time, you're good to go. And at the end of the day, you get yourself a fresh 90-day visa and peace of mind without the stress and hassle of trying to do everything yourself. The routine is well established, and of course, you can just do it next time if you need to. If you're a traveler or expat in Da Nang or Hoi An, this is a solid, stress-free option for you. Just be sure to pack your patience and maybe even a pillow. Like and subscribe, and be sure to share the video. Also, don't forget to pick up our Da Nang Quick Start Guide if you're planning a trip there. Happy wandering!